session is on blended learning, multimedia content, and supportive teaching tools to promote student engagement. To make the learning experience more exciting, multimedia technologies like video and audio teaching, TV, video conferencing, LCD projectors, online group discussions, etc. are being incorporated by many education institutes. This session will focus on how really we are moving to the multimedia classrooms, or we are still practicing the old same format for students sitting through hour-long teacher monologues. So in this session, first we'll be having industry presentations one by one, then we'll have an open discussion. So I would like to call upon Mr. Adil Usman. He's the Vice President of iProf Learning Solutions India Private Limited. Please round of applause for Mr. Adil.
So, firstly, a very good morning to all of you. Yeah, the slide is there. I am Adil Usman. I work for iProf Learning Solutions. I am the school division head, and I also manage the educational solutions for governments. So today, firstly, it's great pleasure to be back at this summit. I was here last time also. It was a pleasure interacting with most of you in one-to-one and one-to-many sessions. I think summits like this are very important for thought leadership purposes and for interaction and idea exchange between the industry veterans like yourself sitting over there. So before I start with my own presentation, I would like to spend a couple of minutes trying to understand from the esteemed educational panelists who are sitting here, what are the real digital solutions that they have used in the past, which they believe have impacted them in a positive manner, or what are the solutions that they would like to use or they would want the industry to produce, which will have a real positive impact. I'm not looking for any names of any particular companies. It's more of a collaborative session. I just want some of your inputs around the around the solutions that you believe can impact or have impacted. So anybody can just raise hands and we'll just give them the mic and they can just say a few lines about the solutions they have used or would like to see. So ma'am, can somebody please pass on the mic to ma'am? Digital learning team, can you please help?
See, we have many softwares helping teachers and helping students when they are at school.
Yeah.
But you know, and it has been very helpful. As we have been talking about, the visual learning is always long lasting and all.
Sure.
I feel the parents should also have some access to what their child is doing at school or what he has done. They can recap it at home,
Fabulous.
which is still not available. So
I think
feel parents can be big partners in learning of their ward.
That's a very valid point. I think parents have to be partners. I'll just come on to that point in a while. Any other points? Yeah, ma'am. Any other points? Anybody else would like to?
The thing that you were talking about, what we have done it in schools, there are two aspects of bringing technology. One is technology assisting the teachers to teach. It's mostly been used in the schools in various forms. Using technology for the students was another aspect, how they use it, what they learn. In our school, what we did, that we brought the technology to the students and we asked them that they are supposed to post their best works in the form of soft copies onto the school website, and they were required to give these presentations on the site itself. So this way the two things came together. One, the difference of teaching. The teaching was done by the teachers, but the assignments were again reposted back onto the sites, by which the students were able to access internet for the positive usage. The wrong part of the internet was all put down. They were all pushing out to the parts like using internet, visiting the websites, and putting out the best contents through that part.
I think that's a very nice initiative that you have done. I think discovery can be taken like this.
Yes. And another thing that we did was we asked the students to give the multimedia presentations, no more the old PowerPoint presentations.
Sure.
No.
That's
When
interesting.
we are teaching this school, all the CBSE schools are teaching multimedia these days. So the students were asked to produce multimedia presentations in a group. It
Okay.
not be the individual basis. It was all
Sure.
together in a groups. And in the groups, they were evaluated and they were given
Sure.
the chance. This thing helped us in three ways. One, the technology was brought to the classes and to the students. Second, the CC aspects was evaluated because a lot of CC works
Yep.
was been done in this thing. And the co-scholastic activities were also being assessed.
Okay.
This was all.
So thank you for your inputs. I think that was a real good idea. So students start becoming more engaging rather than spoon-fed kind of a teaching mechanism. So looking at the time constraint, I'll begin with my presentation now, and then we can address some more inputs, questions later part. So I today unveil towards all of you a new innovative solution and a new innovative power of digital learning through M-Learning. M-Learning stands for mobile-based learning. Why this is a revolution, why I believe that this can change the whole education industry is simple. The three biggest challenges in digital learning today are: one, infrastructure. Not all the schools can still afford the kind of infrastructure in terms of PCs, tablets that is required to make sure that the digital learning can be imbibed, because it requires infrastructure. Second, internet connectivity. A lot of digital learning tools are online based. The offline tools can be more content delivery, but if you talk about collaboration, as sir mentioned, or as ma'am mentioned, getting the parents involved into the whole process, you need connectivity, and that can only be brought through internet. Some schools have internet, but then the question comes around the broadband speed and the capability of internet. And third, very important, is around teacher training. We install sometimes the best of solutions, but the teachers are not very comfortable with using those technologies, so the engagement from the students and the teachers does not rise up to the level it should. And I believe any solution, not just education, any solution that you use, if people are not using it, then it's worth nothing. And why teachers face challenges? Because it is installed in the school, they have access to it once a week, twice a week, so they don't spend enough time to have the confidence to give it or show it in front of 30 students who are going to just start giggling at any small mistake that a teacher does. So those are the three challenges. Mobile learning can solve those three challenges. Simply why? Because we just provide mobile app in this, which can be loaded on any phone, especially a smartphone. So you don't need any third infrastructure. Number two, 90% of internet used in India is through mobile phones. This is a statistic that I'm giving you. So most of the people have some amount of internet in the mobile phone. And third, yes, absolutely. And the third thing, is around mobile phone is based on simple Android or iOS platforms, which are very easy for understanding and using. And because mobile phone is something teacher takes home also with them, so they get used to it over a period of 1 month, 2 months. But in the other digital learning solutions that we install in schools, they never get enough time to actually learn it and take the best advantage of it. I'll talk about it in detail, but let me just in a few minutes cover about what iProf does and the solutions that we have. So iProf is India's largest tablet-based delivery education company. We provide the digital content needs to be associated with the publisher books for having a better understanding. You don't just want to keep on adding content. Give them physical books, then give them digital content, and then give them third digital content. You want a solution which kind of encapsulates the whole teaching learning process in a detailed manner. So our solutions are both in online and offline format. In the offline, we provide solutions on tablet through USB drives, which can be plugged and played into the existing hardware, like the smart board solutions that you have, like the computer labs you have. This is the offline solution. In the online solution, we provide a portal which can be accessed by the parents, students, and teachers at home, that is outside school. School Era is the name of the division, the school division. So what is the heart of School Era? School Era is nothing but an LMS solution, a learning management solution. But this is India's most advanced learning management system, a highly dynamic solution. This same learning management system enables the products to be accessed through any of the end devices. Digital learning or digital technology is just about enabling the content or the digital learning solutions on any of the end devices. That could be a smartphone, tablet, PC, iOS-based devices, or any other device. So this is the pool of content partners, some of them that we have. As I told you, we aggregate content. So if a school wants content from XYZ publisher or associated to any XYZ digital learning company, we can provide the same. Thus, your whole content becomes mapped to the physical books that you're using, and you're not running two parallel worlds, one of digital and one of physical books. You are running only one solution, which kind of connects the physical books as well as digital solutions. Why I said that we are the most advanced digital learning LMS? Because our consumers have told us that, or our customers have told us that. We recently provided in the Meghalaya 27,000 tablets. Then we gave a second order which was closed this last month. We have already delivered another 27,000 tablets, to completing about 54,000 tablets that we have delivered in the state government of Meghalaya with educational content. There the problems were same. The quality of teachers was not high, it being in the northeastern part of the country. Internet was a challenge. There we provided an LMS-based tablet solution with content from one of our partners of content. After the first year of the solution was provided for grade 11th and 12th students and for IIT JEE preparation test prep, the Meghalaya government published a report which said that the number of IIT JEE intake from Meghalaya as a state increased by threefold. This is an independent state report which can be accessed on their website, which the government published. So this was a positive impact that the solution caused. We won a tender with CBSE where they have asked us to provide the same LMS to all the CBSE schools who are interested in this. The advantage is this is a CBSE certified and approved solution, so the schools don't have to worry about whether we are just a private organization trying to sell them something. We are not a private organization trying to sell them something. This was part of our CSR activity to have a CBSE verified, CCE enabled solution which helps in CCE implementation. We also provided 26,000 tablets in the state of Mauritius, the international country. There are a lot of companies had bid for this tender. It was an international tender, US-based companies, Singapore-based companies, and there also our LMS solution was judged the best solution in the world. And then we won the tender, we provided their IB board content. Like I said, we have partner of content providers, so we can provide whatever content the schools want. This is one of the articles around the 11 million students that we have to serve as part of the CBSE CSR initiative. So we not only look after only one stakeholder of the education fraternity, we look after schools, teachers, and students, and we provide solutions for both of them. I'll come in detail about it in the next few slides. So what is the school era offering? What is the iProf school era offering? So we say 2 plus 2 is equal to 5. What I mean to say is that with the help of technology, you can bring up efficiencies into the existing system. Technology is not going to replace parents, technology is not going to replace teachers, technology is not going to replace the school administrators. But what it can do is, it can increase the efficiency of all the stakeholders, including the student, and make 2 plus 2 work in a more efficient manner, and that's why we say 2 plus 2 is equal to 5. So these are the advantages of the school era solution. For teachers, it saves up to 25% of the time. How it saves up to the time? Like I mentioned, we have a CC-enabled approved solution where the whole gradebook automation is done. The teachers don't need to do any more gradebook creation, putting the marks, doing the same calculation. It's more administrative work. They waste a lot of time and energy in this, and this whole process can actually be automated with the help of technology, and we can save the precious time of teachers so that they can focus on their main core job, that is teaching. Students get access to high quality content, animation, learning tools, guided learning paths at home also. They get a user ID and password through which they can access the portal at home. Parent gets a separate user ID and password through which they can monitor the complete student's performance, the assessments that have been given, the assignments that have been given, the notifications, the attendance chart, and all the other things, so that a parent in today's busy life, in their own, both parents working, they can still make sure that they stay engaged with the learning of the student inside the school and outside the school. For schools, like I said, the direct gradebook creation, automation, we provide user ID to password to principals through which a lot of detailed data analytics and insights can be generated. In school industry, analytics and insights have still not been used. Look at other industries like healthcare, telecom, transportation. It all works on analytics. If we can provide the right insights and analytics, why the performance of one class is falling, why the students of your school are not doing so well in English as compared to a different school, however your school have been into existence and putting the same amount of funds into the infrastructure. So these amount of detailed insights and analytics we provide to the principal at her fingertips, and she knows about what is happening inside the school at a teacher level, at a student level. So I'll just finish the presentation in last 2 minutes since time is short. I'll just come to the last 3 slides. This is the complete solution that we provide. We provide the school with a tab lab with 30 tablets which can be kept inside the library. All the teachers and students gets a user ID and password so that they can access the whole LMS solution at home. Parent gets an user ID and password. They get a mobile app which can be installed in the handset of a teacher. What they can do with a mobile app is the daily attendance that happens, the teacher no longer needs to take it in a register. They can take it on the mobile phone. The message is instantaneously sent to the parent application that your student is in the school and he has been marked present. Also, another feature that we have recently launched is the navigation tool. Parent gets worried when the bus gets late or the van gets late. So what we have done is the mobile app, when it's inside the mobile of the driver or the teacher who's in the bus, the parent can see real time through a map where the bus is, how it's going to get late, and the child is safe. And there are many more features like the assessments or the homework assignments that the teacher gives. The parents can also see it on their mobile app, so the moment they reach home, they just talk to their son or their daughters and say, oh, have you done this? So the students also knows that the parents are involved, they care for them, and it's not a disassociated system. And especially in today's world where the service industry has taken place, both parents are working, we need technology to help parents also so that they can also participate in the learning process, teachers also so that their workload becomes less, and students get the same content, same education at home which they had access to inside the school. So this is just one of the screenshots. I can talk about it in detail after my presentation. I am having a canopy, a stall over here, where we can talk about this in detail, looking at the time constraint, and we want to keep some time for the question and answer, which I believe is the most important part of any session. I'd like to conclude my presentation with this, but all I'm going to say before I get off is that mobile learning, mobile education is the next revolution in digital space, and not just digital, in the entire education space. It connects all the entities of education through a single platform. It is a non-cost intensive environment. You don't need to invest on infrastructure. You don't need to buy expensive software. You don't need to have separate internet lease lines or connection lines. It works on the existing infrastructure, which is the smartphones that all the teachers and parents have, something that they know how to use, and it provides a collaborative environment for the best learning to happen. Thank you so much, all the gentlemen.
Thank you, Mr. Adil. And absolutely, mobile learning is the future, and we hope our schools can implement all these applications in future. Next, I would like to call upon, and I'm dividing this 10-minute session among two spokespersons, Mr. Atif Shakir, Head Sales Education Industry, Samsung India Electronics Private Limited, and after that, Mr. Gautam Bawa, Project Head Content Designer, Career Launcher. This one, right?
Good morning. My name is Atif Shakir. I take care of the education vertical from Samsung India. First and foremost, Adil, thank you very much. You made our life much, much easier. I think most importantly, I've been in the session from 9:30 from the time it started, and there are a few points which came out again and again. One is accessibility to good education, accessibility to technology, accessibility to good teachers, and most importantly, I think Adil reiterated that quite a few times, learning, learning, and learning. At the end of the day, when I go back to my education, the time I studied, until my second or third standard, and I'm sure the dear principals here will know this, and the dear teachers here will know this very well, my parents asked me one question: what did you learn today in school? And as I progressed to my third, fourth, and fifth, that word learn changed to go study, right? Ultimately, The end result is that marks, is that 10 standard result, is that 12 standard result, is that degree. So the word learn changes to study. What we're trying to imbibe in technology here from a Samsung point of view, and hence the focus on why this vertical, why this business space we've actually invested in and going all out to make whatever good business sense for us, is most importantly because we believe we have the technology, the solution, and the whole platform ready to improve learning. The evolution is very simple. We started with a blackboard, with a chalk, a teacher-led scenario, which is still going to be there, it's still going to remain for a longer time, it's not going to change. The metros seems to be evolving, there is a change, but across the country, if I take in every part of India, the blackboard will not be replaced for a long, long time to come. And then the advent of computers, you started getting desktops inside, moved gradually to a laptop story, and then the interactive whiteboards came into place. You have a lot of more of information being shared with students through the teacher or through the school in forms of videos, in forms of content, animation content through the whiteboards. And as we progress further right now, I think we're at the time where the tablet and the smartphone device seems to be taking shape and actually imparting education or helping the teachers impart much more valuable education and make the students understand a little more the depth in most important cases. Because subjects like a mathematics or a physics or a chemistry, where the concept is the key, a blackboard might not really help teach that concept so well. Today, technology helps you understand a concept very well. For example, a square plus b square is equal to c square is that formula which I have in my head until now. Until I saw it on a laptop and I saw the whole pictorial design of that formula, I understood that concept far, far better. Unfortunately, in our times, we only had a teacher who showed it on a blackboard and we had it in a textbook. Again, most importantly, there's a change in the environment, and that change is happening for a while now, but in the last 7 to 8 years, we're seeing this technological change rapidly moving in India. And it's not only in metros. I think there was a lady here who was talking about Bilaspur. There was a lady from Haryana who was talking about technology. Today, we're talking about Tier 2, Tier 3, and thanks to the IPROS of the world, we're going rural India too, where government education seems to be actually imbibing technology. Earlier, it was a student highly dependent on the teacher. Today, the student has some device in the hand, could be a laptop, could be a tablet or a smart device where the learning seems to be much more enhanced. The pedagogy has changed. I think one-directional teaching, where the teacher stood in front of the class and gave a lecture. At the end of the lecture, we didn't realize if the student completely understood the lecture unless a test happened. Today, we can actually take that cue forward and say, at the end of that 1 hour session of physics, how many of my 40 students understood the whole lecture? How many of them need special attention? Operations, again, as someone was pointing about, wherever I go today, be it a school, be it a corporate house, we're talking go green, go green, go green, cut paper, cut paper. That's what we're trying to do. No more paper, let's use the tablet. Again, technology, as I spoke about the whiteboards, you're using a blackboard as of now, you're using some sort of a display, but today an interactive whiteboard actually does every activity you want, from writing on the board, to videographing the whole class, to showcasing a video, content, sharing vice versa the content from the teacher or from the student. So, what is the future? The future of education is how more collaborative can you get, how more can you get interactive with your student. At the end of a session or end of a class, how can we ensure the student has actually understood the concept, is not studying, and is actually learning? So with the type of technologies we have, we're talking about everybody being involved here. Mind you, without a teacher, without the administrative, without the school, without the principal, and obviously without the student, this does not work. Each and every one has to play that important role in making technology work too. So Samsung, especially, I think I take a lot of pride in saying this. India, Samsung India, created something called a Samsung Smart School, which works with an interactive whiteboard, has the tablets, has a teacher-led tablet device, where the whole interaction and study happens using these three people, the teacher, the whiteboard, and the student. The whole environment is controlled by the teacher. She knows exactly what's happening on everyone's tablet inside the classroom. What he or she, the student, is seeing on her tablet, she can block the user, she can showcase the user, she can do every possible design or impart using a tablet-based module. And again, everything showcased on a whiteboard. We have made this solution in India. Unfortunately, we haven't sold in India, but we've sold across the world. As we speak today, I think it's Malaysia, Dubai, the United States of America, France, UK. We've already done a 2 lakh installation of this project. It's an expensive offering, yes. And now, in the next 3 months or 4 months, we'll have a new offering which will be based and particularly made for the Indian market. Again, as I said, all the administrative tools, all the teaching tools, from checking attendance to finding out if what the student has done, if homework has been done, to understanding what he or she is doing in the class, to checking assignments, to making sure the student is actually concentrating in the class. Go back to my days, when somebody was distracting a class, usually a chalk came from one of the teachers. We can change that today. We can e-chalk them, right? So we have those solutions too. We're talking about a complete end-to-end solution, working on a tablet and working on a smartphone too as we progress further. That's what I was talking about, the interactive whiteboard, where we have one on display here, where you could actually go into our stall to see how the interactive whiteboard works. On a 55 or a 65 inch, we have a device which will take care of all your needs in terms of showcasing, videographing, or playing content in any form. Again, why Samsung? And most importantly, why Samsung? 1, obviously the brand. 2, the reach in terms of service. 3, the focus in education. So we are not here talking about coming and giving you a hardware device and walking away. We will come to you with the hardware, with the solution, with the platform, and with the content if you desire. So I have content aggregated across. I have partners across in this business who will give you any form of content, CBSE, ICSE, IGSE, any content, engineering, medical, CA, CAT, you name the content, it's available. Particularly test preparation, yep, and everything to start with. So from Samsung, we're talking about an end-to-end solution. And just to progress quickly, I have a video to play.
There is an old proverb. Nobody can take from you knowledge. Knowledge is something you have all your life. My kids are normal 21st century kids. When it comes to technology, I think that my kids can teach the teacher.
My son, he learned to use the computer mouse before the fork. Kids need different education than we had when I was a kid.
In Croatia, Samsung proudly supports education, delivering innovation and enabling every student's potential.
We wanted a partner who not only created world-class technology, but who could help us integrate it into our school as well.
Everybody has a right on a classroom of future, and I think everybody should have the feeling we have. Everybody's working better, everyone is focused. It's great to work in that environment.
Each student has a tablet, and the teacher has a master computer, which can then be logged into any of the students' tablets to see who is doing what.
Samsung School Solution changed the way I teach for the better. Every child should have the best possible learning environment, giving them the best chance to succeed.
Samsung care about people and care about not just business. Samsung really wants to help us to make better education in Croatia.
This is forward thinking. This is the new learning experience of Samsung.
That was the Samsung Smart School working live at Croatia. So as I said, why Samsung devices, solutions, the platform, the whole story. I'd like to take the pleasure to invite our partner, Mr. Gautam from Career Launcher, to come on stage and showcase his offerings. Thank you.
Hi, good afternoon. I guess I'm the first one to wish you that. Yeah. So, multimedia and education, right? Let's go back to the age-old method. No PPTs. I'll talk. Hopefully, I can pique your interest to today go out to the kiosk and try out some of the product offerings that we have. Let's start simple. How many of us have watched Lord of the Rings? Yeah, Lord of the Rings. How many of us have read Lord of the Rings? Read. Watched? Okay. Let's do the same with Harry Potter. How many of us have watched the movies? How many of us have read them? Some. Well, today's students and today's children have probably watched each and every movie that has been released, but haven't read anything. Or if they have, then like ma'am, they've probably read some of them. Yes, ma'am. Surely. Absolutely. So, what is happening today is that today's children are more interested in experiencing things. Experience is not just about reading, it is about visual as well as audio. So imagine this, a simple situation. You go to class, the teacher explains a concept to you. However, you also have a tablet, or, as sir pointed out, you might have a mobile phone or any electronic device that you can think of. On that, you have a PDF of the same topic that was taught in class. So we don't need a textbook to go back home to. I have a PDF. In the PDF, after every particular topic that has been taught to you, there are certain solved examples. Along with that are embedded certain videos of questions related to those topics which have been solved by experts. Two types of solutions. One, the conventional method. Second, the smart method. And that is what today's children need. A smart way of education. Because at the end of the day, I'm sure none of us seated here are aiming to ensure that we enable our students to crack the CBSE, ISC, or whatever board exams, whether it's the state board exams. We are here to ensure that we are career enablers. And at the end of the day, in order to ensure that we are career enablers, we need to provide a smart solution to the children to get each and everything that they desire at the easiest possible place. So consider this. What all does a student require to succeed? Somebody explaining to me the concepts and the fundas? Practice exercises? Motivation? Doubt clearance? Life skills? Attitude? Absolutely. What else? How about, say, if I pick up a particular topic, say mathematics, one particular subject. Numerous topics in mathematics? Practice. Which topics are you good at? At the end of the day, in an exam, when you are going to be seated for an, your examination or your test, which are the topics you should be attempting first? You know you are good at this. Ensure you are getting those marks. Then spend some time and go to the topics that you are a little unsure about. We need that, right? So now imagine this. A student walks into class. A teacher is there to provide guidance. A teacher is there to provide motivation. A teacher is there to check on the student's attitude. Correct? But when he goes back home, does a teacher know what the student is doing? No. The only way we check what the student has done and whether he's practicing is through the final exam that we give him. Correct? So let's make this a simplified thing. Student comes to the classroom, we've taught him. Let's give him a tablet or a smartphone or whatever with the PDFs there. Concepts are there. One thing handled. Two, that is followed by simple questions related to that concept. So if there are 10 concepts in one chapter, each concept will have 5 questions related to it. So each chapter has 50 questions. Out of those, some of them will have a video solution, which is the smarter way to crack those questions. So a student has that. Now what does a student know? A student needs, he needs problems to practice. So after each video solution, we give him 6 problems to practice on that topic. He practices that. Once he's done with his entire syllabus, he just goes on and clicks to an icon and he sees which level is he currently at with respect to each and every topic. So it's possible ratio and proportion, he finds out he's an expert, 90% accuracy. Whereas when it comes to, probability, just 30%. He's probably just at a beginner level. So he knows where he needs to work upon. Following up on that, we provide him a series of test papers, mocks, as you want to put it. So say, for example, most of the board exams and most of the board exam students have a tendency of solving the previous year question papers, right? So the best faculty that we will have in our schools will be pre-recording certain questions of the previous year question papers. Those will be pre-fed into the tab. A student before every examination knows exactly what kind of questions the board exam asks. He practices those questions. He's seen how a faculty or a teacher approaches those questions. He knows the methodology that needs to be followed. Then we give him a series of tests. After taking those tests, finally, he's reached a situation wherein he's crossed all the hurdles and he knows exactly at the end of it which are his topics of strengths, which are his topics where he needs to work upon, and which are the topics where he's probably at the beginner level. So that at the end of the day are the smart solutions that we are aiming for. Also, another thing which was actually pointed out by our friend from iProcess, so what we were talking about was, parents have no idea about what's happening, right? How about each and every app, you create a special login for the parents, wherein the parent is able to see exactly how the child is progressing. So if it's a mathematics thing, the parent knows exactly how the child is progressing when it comes to math. If it's physics, yes. Okay, thank you. We can. Okay, so we can carry this forward. Hope to see quite a few of you all at the kiosks. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Gautam. That was quite an interesting session. And I feel bad why I'm not, in this period of time in school, because where I could to, use such technology where I was scribbling on my notebook. So next I would like to call upon Ms. Poonam Singh Jamwal, CMO, Extra Marks Education Private Limited. Please, ma'am.
Good afternoon. It is good to be back here. I attend a lot of seminars. I talk a lot on early education because I've done a lot of work on that. Interestingly, I have a role as a company head today, but I begin as a teacher. And for last 20 years, education and the core of pedagogy is very close to me. And that is a huge differentiator in how we have really created a solution. I think this is a leaders seminar, and I like it because there's a lot of knowledge sharing here. Because you are the people and we are the people who go back and plow back whatever we talk about. Any other level of conversation goes back with a feeling of unfulfillment, if at all one can use that, because if I was a teacher, I went to an inspiring seminar, and I go back and I say, I wish I was in a school where this happened. But as leaders, you can actually go back and plow back good practices. Like that, as technology leaders also, we can go and plow back all the learnings we have here and put together the best practices. I feel leadership, not I feel, Kennedy said this, and I've always liked it, leadership and learning is indispensable to each other. Because a lot of times when we get on top of things, we get into this place that I know everything. While I feel as leaders, you have to constantly learn from the people who work with you, the people you teach, because they are the ones who should drive the vision for tomorrow and not you. And that is a big plus of this seminar. And it takes all of us to build communities in which children excel. It is you, it is the companies who come with great ideas, because end of the day, our core purpose is to help the student excel and optimize on the resources. There are a lot of ideas that were played down here. I'm going to take 2 minutes to capture that and encapsulate it to help the connectivity of what you have done through the day also. My first question to all of you is, For a second, if you could share with me your understanding of your role, current role. Would somebody like to share it? How do you perceive your current role? Yeah. Is enhanced. Very right. Thank you so much. Yeah, anyone else who can define the current role? Current role.
I would like to be of some use to anyone in the school who comes to me to seek any kind of help. And this doesn't compartmentalize at all. It could be a student, it could be my peer, it could be a teacher, it could be a parent, anyone. So if I'm in a position where I can help people, where I can prove myself I'm helpful and useful, then I think I have something.
Wonderful. Anyone else? Reaching out to? Everybody. So if you really see that in our environment, there are stakeholders like teachers, students, and parents. What is it that they expect from us? Because what we do is extend value, and there is a certain expectation that they have from us. What do you think the teacher expects from us? We've never bothered to think what teacher expects from us. We know what we expect from a teacher. But question is, we should ask what she expects from us. So can I just ask you to all stop for a second? Motivation is very important. I've been sitting through the seminar since morning. None of you have actually from your heart clapped. Can you please do that? You are the chief motivators and cheer. No, I don't hear it. I'm really telling you, loudly. We expect children to speak loudly, express themselves loudly. Your only role, main role, is to be the cheerleaders. And then you have to put your heart into anywhere you see good work happening. And that's where everything begins. Yeah, now that I am coming to that also. Thank you very much. This is where I was going. Fantastic. See, leadership is one at the level of being the principal. You have to be inspirational. You have to give pedagogical leadership. That's very, very crucial, because that always comes into a confusion. Am I a CEO of the school, or am I'm providing pedagogical leadership? But what is, I have extra time. Yeah. I've been actually asked to come and speak about pedagogy and not about content, so you need to give me 2 minutes. So my point here really is distribution of leadership is very crucial. If for my leadership to succeed in school, I have to distribute leadership effectively, empower the people to help me fulfill my vision. And the commerce will take care of itself. So your core proposition is very, very crucial in the whole thing. So I think I'm going to round up faster now that I've heard the bell. Teachers, we expect teachers to be effective, students to be successful, and parents to be involved. Like as school leaders, that is what we expect. But they expect something from us. Teachers expect to be encouraged, empowered, supported, and finally her own personal development as an individual. Because somewhere down the line, we keep telling her, do this, do this, do this. We are not working on how she is evolving. And then we keep saying there's a gap between learner and a teacher. And again, student also expects success without any effort. Okay? They expect success, but they would prefer without effort. And finally, parents expect engagement. I want to know, I don't want to be blind to my child. And I need to be connected as to what he is doing. Therefore, PTAs, that's why badgering the teacher so much, to tell me more and tell me more. So what technology does, I really feel, is really the connection and optimization of a vision of what we want and what we actually can deliver. And actually go down to the teacher and optimize her time, empower her, and leave her for teaching. That value that we talk about, the attitudes we talk about, let her not reinvent the wheel. Let it be there. When I studied photosynthesis, it is still the same. The laws of the nature haven't changed. But the application has changed. When we were the student, RJ, radio jockey, wasn't a job. And today when we're thinking of children, we don't know what jobs they're going to get into. So what we can do is empower them with strong foundation when they learn. Not in the sense just focus on the degrees, because degrees will have no consequence. And if you really understand the concept, you will get your marks. So technology is just an enabler, a facilitator, it's a delivery model, but the core is the pedagogy principles. So right now, for example, if we can embed in a curriculum the constructivism approach, wherein, you ask the current knowledge, build on the child's current knowledge, and then help him expand. And you create a hierarchy of learning. Imagine from class 1 to 12, there is a tree that is growing. You're not learning in a vacuum. And that is what today you should demand of digital learning companies. Are you helping in my outcomes? Are you aligned to the industry needs? Are you aligned to the multiplicity of attitudes and intelligences there within the framework of 40 children in 40 minutes? Can I take more out? And is there continuity between in school and after school? So I am going to fast track this. My personal view of any digital learning is, whether it was in times of Guru Shishya Parampara or today, that finally you want to reach to that one child and be able to teach that child. And our aim really is personalized learning. And today, the whole cycle has come to a point that technology can enable us to reach that child in the way we want to reach the child. So, Zach, can you play the video so that we can, so volume.
Today's student is different from a student in 2020. But what is the difference? And what does a student need to be successful later in life? Today's learning takes place in the classroom, with classmates and a teacher. But in the future, learning will also take place outside the classroom and outside school hours. Learning will be organized in different topics and different levels, so there will be different groups. But the learning also takes place individually. What does a student use to learn in 2020? Today, a student uses books, pens and paper. In 2020, a student might use computers, tablets and smartphones, or maybe even completely new technology. This technology creates more possibilities, which influence the learning process. At the moment, educational publishers mostly decide what the student learns and in what order. But in 2020, adaptive systems will respond to the student's level and speed. Those systems are also able to enrich and enhance the knowledge of a student. And how does a student know how well he is doing? Today, a student receives grades and report cards periodically. But with learning analytics, a student will receive real-time feedback on his progress. He is challenged to perform even better, or he receives support on topics that he doesn't get. And what is the role of the teacher in 2020? Education will always be a people's job, with a key role for teachers, as a coach in the learning process and the social development of students.
So the role changes
Due to
from a
advanced
teacher
resources,
to
a
being
teacher can pay more attention to a student, and the student's learning goal is himself. To prepare for society in 2030, and for a profession that probably doesn't even exist yet. A lot of things are uncertain, but we do know one thing. Our students of 2020 have started learning today.
So, whatever visualization of a 2020 child, he is here with us today. I would, my vision of personalized learning is based on that ultimate matrix situation, that is the level that we need to reach. But between that, I would like to show you how we are achieving whatever you visualize as your ultimate dream of running a school. Technology is failing you, Zach.
Extra Marks Live has adopted personalized learning through game-based thematic approach for young learners and adaptive, hierarchical layered pedagogy for senior students, making the teaching learning process easy and effective. The well-researched pedagogy is implemented by professionals having years of experience in the field of education, which allows the learners to observe real-life scenarios through various digital resources in a manner which raise inquiries in their minds, and the underlying concept is then explained to them in detail. The learners move up their learning curve from simple to complex concepts with ease through adaptive, active and engaging content. The Extra Marks content weaves a complete circle of learn, practice and test, which not only allows students to learn at their own pace, but make sure that the concepts are fully understood and validated by immersive deep learning. As they learn, they are free to pause, rewind and replay, or collaborate by adding mentors and work in groups, enabling self-paced and collaborative learning. The self-evaluation along with schedules, mentor assistance and report effectively monitor their learning need. Come alive with Extra Marks Live.
So really we provide a 360-degree solution in school program with Smart Learn Class, the ERP of the school, that is School Management System, test centers, on the tab, the CTP class, and after school program again on the tab or online. But the core of the whole proposition is the pedagogical principles that are embedded in the learning process, and everything that you expect from or for all the stakeholders, we have tried to capture in the whole thing. And my final vision of where personalized learning should take us, if all of us collaborate, is I would like to close with a little clip from a movie. And with this, I would like to also thank you for your attention. Yeah. Have you, any one of you seen Matrix? Yeah? Yeah, okay. Remember this scene? They had a helicopter to fly that they didn't know how to fly.
I've never seen anyone move that fast.
Wasn't fast enough. Can you fly that thing?
Not yet.
Operator.
Tank, I need a pilot program for a B-212 helicopter. Hurry. Let's go.
So knowledge should be so deep that its application is the key, not the knowledge itself. So best of luck for the rest of the seminar, and thank you for your attention. And thank you, Chair, for your kindness.
Thank you so much, ma'am, and thank you for talking from a student perspective what a teacher should do, rather than, teachers keep telling us what you should do and what should you not. And now I would like to introduce the moderator of our session, Dr. Rajiv Kumar Chauhan, Regional School Director, East Zone. And now we are ready to go with our open discussion on the same topic.
Yeah, good afternoon. First, my apologies if I have hurt someone. But being a teacher at heart, you know what happens is time is very important. But as we are playing a relay, a little back, because Seema told me 1 घंटे से 1 मिनट ऊपर नहीं दूंगी, डंडा लेके खड़ी हूँ. So I thought, let's push it out. But before we do, there are some of the members who are ready with their ideas on blended learning. Here are a few. Shall we start with Ratna? Are you starting? Please. Over to you, Ratna.
Hi, good afternoon again. As a teacher, I would hate to feel that I am replaceable and by technology. So first of all, I would like to say that, teachers are needed at a base level. Where can we replace them? I suppose later on when the child has already attained that kind of knowledge. We cannot, yes, yet we see that there has been a paradigm shift in the learning process. So how could we blend learning along with teaching? I thought of, the listening to the teacher first, then maybe just putting it down in very short, your time is absolutely not at your disposal. Use an e-book to do some worksheets. We have all the presentations we've seen today. The child gets back home, and I'm talking about a child up to say 12 or 13 years of age, gets back home, does some research on the net using the cloud and all the other technologies that we have again heard today, submits it to the teacher for moderating and commenting. The teacher will presumably not, you see what happens if we are giving it to the tablet to mark it, the one-on-one discussion, open discussion that a teacher has with the child, look, these are the mistakes you've made, and could you do it, not do it like this? And then maybe the child learns from the mistake. We can even have a SAS, like a smart assessment system, again using technology. Well, we can also have a broader discussion online, have group projects across the world, and blend it too very neatly. That's the way we are working up to, say, grade 8. So I just thought I'd share it with you.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you very much. Can we, yes, sir? Over to you. Please introduce yourself and we proceed further up, please.
Sure. Thank you very much. I am Rajiv Gupta. I have a three-dimensional role as the owner of a school, as the owner of a publishing house, and as an international counselor on multiple intelligence. I will just speak 3 paragraphs today, neither in favor nor in against. The topic of the today is education, changing role in technology. What do we mean by education? Education is different, technology is different, and schooling is different. Is education only related to schooling? No. A good teacher is a good teacher with or without technology, and no amount of technology gadgets are going to make a bad teacher any better. And I don't believe that technology is the key to student success. What is the most important is student engagement and effort both in and out of class, and a good instructor can nurture that engagement and increase student motivation. Paragraph 1. Paragraph 2. Nonetheless, there are many who argue that our present moment is different from all those who have come before. Perhaps they are right. Perhaps the new tools of information technology provide something deeper than just new modes of content delivery. Perhaps our students are so accustomed to online interaction that the virtual communities erected within modern course management systems are all that they need to be connected to their fellow students. Perhaps their brains really are wired different now. Who will benefit from the revolution? All over the world, there is a commercial push to sell educational products to consumers who are looking for an edge up in the race for success. Education, once viewed as a public good with equal access for all, is now up for sale to those who can afford specialized services and computer programs. And lastly, as parents and citizens need to push for a more expansive view of education reform, school leaders and teachers need to understand how learning technologies work and how they change the basic interaction of teachers and learners. Technology leaders need to work together with educators, not as missionaries bearing magical gifts, but as collaborators in creating new opportunities to learn. It will take a concerted effort to bring about such a radical change in thinking. Do we really need technology? As a counselor, I counsel around 300 students in a month of say class 9 to 12th, all over from Delhi. And 90% of the parents come to me and say, sir, isse mobile phone छिनवा लीजिए. मोबाइल फोन पे लगी रहती है, मोबाइल फोन पे लगा रहता है पूरे दिन. We as a school owner have latest technologies. 90% of the parents don't even switch on their mobile phones. Most of the time, the numbers which they give to the school is the numbers of their mothers. They don't even read the messages. With due regards to everyone here, fathers के पास message आते हैं, office में busy थे, message ही नहीं पढ़ते हैं. So as a school owner, I fail when I give technology. As a parent, I fail when my child is in adolescence and they come to me and say, WhatsApp, Facebook, Internet, Google. Today, WhatsApp is being used free of cost for exchanging notes. I didn't go to school. Madam ने क्या किया है? Picture click कर दो, and they have decided subjects. English तू कर ले, हिंदी मैं करूँगा, maths तू कर ले, and then they share the notes. Today's parent, I am a parent of a child who is in class 12, who is appearing for boards. Whatever we do, today board is board. Whatever we do. And board exam have to be written for 3 hours. My second child is in class 10th. Both of them are into, पापा फोन कब मिलेगा, स्कूल के बाद फोन कब मिलेगा, कितने नंबर के बाद फोन मिलेगा, कितने नंबर्स नाउ में फोन मिलेगा. So their entire life is dependent on phone. जैसे हम लोग जब पैदा होते हैं, शादी कर लो, पढ़ लो, शादी हो जाएगी, नहीं पढ़ोगे तो शादी अच्छी नहीं होगी. हम लोगों का जन्म सिर्फ शादी के लिए होता है. तो बच्चों का जन्म आज की डेट में सिर्फ मोबाइल फोन के लिए होता है. हमने उनको मोबाइल फोन लेके दिया, सिंपल वाला, पापा स्मार्टफोन चाहिए. अब स्मार्टफोन होगा तो उसमें सनी लियोन भी आएगी और महात्मा गांधी भी आएंगे. एज सिंपल एज इट इज. तो हम पेरेंट एज एन एजुकेटर, एज अ टीचर, एज ए टेक्नोलॉजी प्रोवाइडर, मैं पब्लिशर भी हूं, मैं ई बुक्स में भी आना चाहता हूं, पर मैं डरता भी हूं कि क्या इंडिया में जहां पे 70% बच्चा स्कूल में ही नहीं जाता, जहां पे आई एम सॉरी टू से जो एजुकेशन मिनिस्टर हमारी हैं 3 महीने से एजुकेशन डिपार्टमेंट में रह के कन्वेंसिंग कर रही हैं, बीजेपी की या किसी की भी. आई एम नॉट पॉलिटिकल. द थिंग इज, आर वी रियली गिविंग एजुकेशन? वी आर नॉट. We are just finishing the course as per the CBSE. So where do we need technology? I did my CA, I did my CWA, I did my CS, I did my MBA. I never had a smartphone. So do we really need technology? 2 + 2 तो 4 ही रहेगा. उसको टेक्नोलॉजी से करें या मैनुअल करें. तो टेक्नोलॉजी का यूज जब हो, जो हमने वीडियोस देखी है, नहीं भी देखी है, with due regards to everyone, is India prepared for technological revolution, or we are just branding the education? Education is a thing which should not be branded. Thank you.
Yes, it's nice to hear. I think Colonel Seni want to share something. Sir, over to you, please.
Yeah, I'll be very brief. Since morning we have been talking about smart solutions, smart classrooms, smart schools. But the technology which is going to be used is the tool that is the teacher. Are they smart enough to use that? I hope we are not restricting ourselves to few schools or within the precincts of Delhi itself. If we go a little away, just 5 kilometers, I come from a very prominent city of Haryana. If you just move 2 kilometers from there, no one understands what we are talking about over here. Not a single person, right from principal down to the teacher. So who's going to implement these? I fail to understand. Even
Sir, time.
Okay. So this is
Please,
what I had to
because
say.
everyone want to share, please be very short and we'll come up
I'll
to it.
share something.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Good
I'll share
afternoon,
something
everyone.
that-
Mr. Chauhan, with your permission, I'd like to make
please.
my point. Rajiv ji, you very rightly hit the nail that do we need technology? Can we do without technology is my question to everyone present here. The only problem is it's not whether to use or not to use, how judiciously we can use. और सबसे बड़ी problem जो मुझे लगती है हमारी कथनी और करनी में बहुत फर्क है. हम बच्चों को कहते हैं these are your do's and don'ts, but when it comes to our own individual existence, we practice otherwise. हम बच्चों को बोलते हैं मोबाइल नहीं यूज करो. How many of us can do without mobiles in our personal lives today? So what we need to work on now is, that's what when Mrs. Jamwal asked, what is your role? Our role is to understand ourselves first before we tell others to understand what we want them to. And right now the need is, Madam, आपने बहुत ठीक कहा about constructivism. Connectivism is as much the need of the day. And I'm a chemist by profession. And I would like to tell, carbon, hydrogen, oxygen, nitrogen, इनसे carbohydrate बनता है. But अगर यही carbon, hydrogen, oxygen और nitrogen ठीक तरह से नहीं जुड़े, they become the poison for our existence. अब वो उन्हीं चीजों को ही हमने poison बनाना है, ये elixir बनाना है, that depends on connectivism. We have to connect. And my one major concern right now is our parents have become over ambitious. क्या जब हम पढ़ते थे हमारे parents micromanage करते थे? The answer is no. Second problem.
Ma'am, time please, when there are many to share. I'm so sorry I had to interrupt you in the middle. But
and number two, sir, let's get out of the rat race in terms of technology use. Let's get out of the rat race of scores, professions. We need to understand what suits me is what suits me.
Right.
And we need to
thank
see
you.
what
And
fits the bill.
we'll, thanks a lot, ma'am. We'll only take last two more participants, and then because we have to wind up, because Seema showed me the stick. कि अब की बार तो मैं लेके ही आ रही हूँ. We'll request, sir, you. And I think you want to say two of you, and then we'll wind up, please. Please, ma'am. The time is very important. 1 hour late we are.
One thing. Talk about a student who is sitting in a remote area of Madhya Pradesh or remote area of any village, and a teacher is talking about an ocean to her or him, talking about an ocean which is big enough. The teacher says, student asks, how big is the ocean? The teacher says, this big. So is this, the ocean this big? Is that something like that? No, it is not like that. The teacher needs to show this ocean to this child in form of technology. So this is the first use of technology where we can make use of technology for making students understand what they are learning. The second aspect, just last thing, whether this conference could have been organized on a tablet. Could have been possible that a tablet would have been issued to all the participants, all the presentation would have been made, loaded onto that tablet, and we could have sat and learned it individually. The teacher was talking about individual learning. Could have been possible? No. The learning wouldn't have been possible individually because we need the human touch. So the right pause would have been the touch of human along with the right use of technology for just making students understand which they cannot imagine, which they cannot see. We cannot kill the imagination, but we just need to use the technology in the right use manner.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. And the last participant before we round up. Sir.
Thank you. I'm R.K. Sharma from Saddarshan Vidyalaya, and I'm telling you very well-best school is there. But I think the coming time is visual communication is there, so we cannot go away from that. We are supposed to go with the technology, but we are supposed to know it. The teacher, you can say, I think we have to empower the teacher, and we are supposed to explain the children. It should be under the control of, you can say, I think, the teacher. Then I think the technology is not bad one, and we cannot go away from the technology. We have, you can smart class, we have tab also from Rappels, and we have, you can say, I think, the extra mark. But what is to be required, the thing should be, you can say, under control, and we are supposed to monitor this one. Then I think the technology is not bad. And I think from my side, one request is there. Last year, we have organized Principal's Conclave in Saddarshan Vidyalaya. Dr. Kalam, he was the chief guest. This year, again, you can see we are organizing. This is my request to you. I think through the digital learning, I will send you the invitation. You are supposed to attend that one. And I think the month of, you can say, Feb, approximately 15 to 20 Feb, we are organizing. This is my sweet invitation for all of you. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. And my due apologies to everyone. Please, Seema danda reh ke khadi hai. Mere ko pitna nahi hai.
Thank you, Dr. Rajiv. Thank you.
residential school in Himachal Pradesh. So I think we have all smart classrooms, and I'd like to share something positive, a positive change that we're seeing in our school. Just parents they come to us and they now tell us that बच्चे पूछने लग गए हैं बहुत कुछ, ये पूछता रहता है ये क्यों हो रहा है, ऐसा क्यों हो रहा है. So this is the positive change that we see in our school. So how we prevent its misuse is, ours is the only school in the world where students wake up at I think 4 a.m. in the morning, and they reach the temple and offer their prayers. So this is the way they start their routine. So with this blend of spiritual education, we ensured the prevention of misuse of smart technology and gadgets. So you'd be surprised to know that today we are a flagship chain of 120 schools, and we have people applying from all parts of the world to get admission in our schools.
Right. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you very much. I'm sorry to interrupt you in the middle. I would like, first of all, to apologize for not giving everyone a chance to speak, because if we start doing that, none of the sessions will happen up. Right, I'd like to just wind up with, like Adil rightly said, the technology is there, which saves our time, and it's the thing that makes the student enjoy. I fully agree with what he said, but the very important thing is without teacher, none of them, the technology is of no use without a good human teacher. There's no shortage of teacher in India, but there's a big shortage of good teachers, which all of us are struggling. I as a regional director struggle, but at the end of the day, mata peet ke rehte hain, but we can't help it. But technology is technology, teacher is teacher. We cannot replace any of them, but they, yeah. And like Atif said, that use of this, that's true. They can only help each other. That's the one in that. And because the students nowadays believe in experiencing, right, ma'am. We have to teach them what is right and what is wrong. We fully agree to you, ma'am. And like Poonam ma'am also said upon the personalized learning, should be very easy and effective. We fully agree to it. But you know, teacher also needs some time, so to help them, the technology is there. One last time, run it up. And I'll thank all of them. If any questions are there, stalls are out there. We'll meet them in the next session, because another teacher on my head. Thank you. Thank you very much. Have a good day.
I must say, our teachers are as enthusiastic as our students. Really. I would like Ms. Poonam Singh Jamwal to felicitate Dr. Rajiv Chauhan. Wait a sec, ma'am. Now, I would like Ms. Poonam to felicitate Ms. Archana Jain, Principal, Delhi Public School, Panipat City. Round of applause, please.